Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Cast live stream of the last game of the regular season, Málaga Club de Football versus Real Madrid Castilla. I'm Nick Bell, your master of ceremonies this afternoon, as I'm going to call myself from now on. I'm joined by Luke Chambers over in a rainy Doncaster here, but we're also joined by the wonderful Alex Ashmore, live from, and check this, the Alfredo Di Stefano Stadium, or Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano. Hi, boys. You all right?
Yes. Doing well.
Yeah, I got slated a lot for my pronunciation of Di Stefano, but that's just a Lancashire way of saying things, if I'm honest with you. But how are you guys doing anyway? You're all right? Keeping busy?
Yeah, very well, Nick. Everything's good. Quite excited about this one. The couple of surprises in the team, I guess, but I'm sure we'll speak about that in a minute.
Yeah, definitely, Alex. You're just watching them come out onto the pitch now. Obviously, this is I want to say a bit of a home game for you, really. This is your workplace.
This is, and Matt was asking me when we were coming in, "Are you sure you know where you're going?" I was like, "Yeah, I come here every week." So yeah, no, it's weird to be here and be watching Malaga, and something that I'd never thought would happen: the Geary cast on a Real Madrid accreditation. So there you have it.
We made it, boys. Cool. We've absolutely made it. But yeah, well, speaking, Luke's just alluded to the team. You said you're excited for this. I'm not so much, because me and Alex, we were talking about the form that Real Madrid Castilla were in at the moment. They've got nothing to play for, but they probably want to finish on a bit of a high. They've got the likes of Nico Paz in the side today, and we've gone quite. I don't know. We've got Juanpe playing. I'm just going to leave it at that. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it, Luke?
I mean, I'm quite excited for it purely because I get excited. I'm one of these weirdos who get excited about watching Málaga Club de Football. However, seeing the team and they've not got much to play for, we're settled pretty much where we are, minus the Ibiza thing. I think it's got 0-0 written all over it, unfortunately. It's going to be a long hour and a half, 2 hours.
A bit like the reverse leg. And Alex, obviously you'll maybe know, I don't want to assume that you know Castilla much more than the first team, for example, but this 11 they've got, is it pretty much their best 11, would you say?
I mean, if you look at some of the names, Jacobo, he's been travelling with the first team for quite a lot of the games this season. Nico Paz obviously scored in the Champions League. There are some players in there that have some real quality. And you were saying, of course, they've played all of these players for the last game. They're obviously trying to go out with a bang and get a positive result.
No, I imagine that they absolutely will be doing, because that is just what Real Madrid like to do. But we are getting underway very, very shortly. Like I say, just to run you through that side, just so I can give you a good shout out. We've got obviously Alfonso Herrero in goal. We've got a back four of Carlos Puga, Nelson Monte, Juan De, and Danny Sanchez coming in for Victor Garcia. Obviously, Victor Garcia on 4 yellow cards at the minute, so maybe just a bit of a move around for Sergio Pérez there. It's an all-changed midfield. It's Genaro alongside Sangali and Juanpe back in the side, as I've mentioned. And then a front three of Ferrero, Roberto, and Kevin. So I suppose one of the questions I would be, given that David Larrubia was not just the Malaga Biznaga of the week, not just the man of the match for Malaga last week, but also the player of the round in Primera, does he feel a bit unjust that he's not in the starting 11 today, or are we just resting him?
I think it may be more of a resting job, but if I were David Larrubia, a player who's struggled for form all season, plays a great game, there's no better way of staying in form than keeping it going. So I'd be quite annoyed if I were Larrubia to sit on the bench. The 3 in midfield kind of bores me. Genaro, Juanpe, and Sangali. I don't think there's too much flair, shall we say. Quite happy to see Roberto playing again, because he's obviously chasing the Pichichi.
He is. So I think he's got. I think he'd have to have a pretty good game today in order to get there. I think he's got to score something like, is it 6 goals, if I remember rightly, something like that?
Is it that much?
I think so,
about 3. Alex, that backdrop looks beautiful behind the net, by the way. Where's Alex gone?
Well, I'll put him back in for now.
Yeah, I'm going to go backstage so I don't spoil anything for you guys, because obviously I am quite a few minutes ahead, I guess.
Yes, due to the wonderful delays between here and Madrid. Alex is going to go backstage, but he's going to give us live updates from the stadium as and when there is something for us to talk about. So, Alex, thank you very much. Adios. We'll see you soon. And as always, ladies and gentlemen at home, if you want to get involved with the live stream, put your comments into the chat and we'll get them answered and we'll respond on the back of them into what is, like we say, the last a proper live stream, I'll say, Luke, of the season. We've obviously got playoffs to come up, but who knows? We might be at the playoffs. We do not know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I've got one eye on the Grupo Uno results currently because I said, me and Laura both said we could be booking flights and hotels by 9:00 tonight. Tarragona, Barcelona, just something. Celta Vigo, don't do anything, please.
Yes, definitely. I think maybe if we make a bit of an agreement now, I've got the results from Grupo Dos open. You've got the Grupo Uno results open, and let's just see how it all marries up if we get the tables there as well.
It definitely works for me. Definitely works for me.
As we know, the big part of this, if Malaga can finish above Ibiza, that puts them sort of in line with playing whoever finishes fourth in the first group. So at the minute, that is, I think that's Celta Fortuna, isn't it? That would be, if I remember rightly.
Currently, fourth place is Celta Fortuna, who are playing Barcelona Bay currently, so that can really switch about. Gimnastica are playing Rayo Majadahonda, who I believe are either bottom or second bottom. So you'd imagine Gimnastic to win.
Yeah, you would think.
Either way, we need one of them too.
Exactly, but we'll also be keeping an eye on the game over in Huelva. Recreativo Huelva taking on UD Ibiza. Obviously, anything short of a Malaga win and a Ibiza loss or draw means that Malaga can finish third in the league. And as we say, I don't know about you, Luke, but the draw on the other side seems a bit more favourable for me. So, Rosaleda fans who's just been in touch, thank you very much, guys. Much love to you for your hard work this season, and I really hope you had a great time at La Rosaleda last night at the Legends game, which I'm sure we'll talk about very shortly. But for me, I would be looking to play your Celta Fortunas, your being in the side of the draw with, Gymnastic Tarragona if it stays the way it is, because my ultimate aim in this would be to avoid Cordoba. I don't worry too much about teams on the other side. It's them that worry me about having to play them in the playoffs, Luke. What do you think?
Yeah, this is it, Nick. I totally agree. I think the issue is going to be the teams that have already come up against this season. Ceuta, we know, is not easy at all. Cordoba, not easy. If anything, we've had the upper hand on Ibiza, but look, anything can happen in these kind of games. Ibiza are where they are for a reason. They're a good team on the day. Just looking straight into them comments, Nick, we've got a fantastic turnout so far. Like you mentioned, La Rosaleda fans, the guys. Hi, guys. Nice to see you. Thank you for your support for our team for the season. Vamos Malaga. We're always here, Nick, aren't we? Supporting this team. We love supporting this team.
Yeah, Frederick says here, if Recreativo beats Ibiza, Real Murcia don't win against Athletic B, and Merida beats Ceuta, Recreativo will take fifth place, unless I'm wrong. I think in our mind's eye, that would be the case, but it goes to head-to-head.
Yes.
So I think in that scenario, I think it means that Ceuta and Huelva finish level on points, but Ceuta have got the better head-to-head on Huelva. If I remember rightly, I'm sure that's what's all sort of been boxed off now.
To be honest, Nick, just looking on the actual table, it's got Ceuta on 63 points and Recre on 59. And there's been no early goals yet. So I think Ceuta are actually, it's all said and done.
So that should all be out and done then. So it doesn't even matter if it goes down to head-to-head. Fair enough then.
Regarding the league, regarding Grupo Dos, the only thing what can change today, I believe, is San Fernando. If they win and San Lequenio get beat, San Fernando will stay up. Besides that, I'm pretty sure everything important's done.
Pretty much. And like I say, there could be a reprieve. I'm not too sure how it works for the teams down there in the relegation zone, but obviously with the news that Alcayano are going to be basically descending down the leads, then it'll be someone staying up, whether it's Linares or San Fernando or I don't know who. It could be San Legueño.
Yeah.
Someone's getting a reprieve at some point, but I suppose you've
we
also
know,
got to look to the other side as well. You know what I mean? It
we
might
know as well
include
that
the other ones.
we know as well this is Spain. Anything
Yeah.
can happen. This league could be abolished, and we could have 17 groups of 14 and stuff like this. But interesting comments from Ballum there, which I do love. Hi, Nick and Luke. So, firstly, hi, Ballum. Great to hear from you, mate. Does Malaga have a B team in the Spanish system? We do. We've got Atletico Malagueño, who themselves in the playoffs. They got beat 3-1 away at Almeria Bay last week, and they play tomorrow at the Malaga Sports Centre. So there's a lot of work to be done. The second part of that, will Luke be Malaga's new owner? He has money. Fucking, I wish I had money. Maybe when I've got through these things, I'll put a bid in. But I can assure you, I don't have money. Nick has 17 rooms in his house.
I don't have money either. So don't be asking me for any kind of loan. Steve is also been. He says, "Evening, gents. Steve could be Wednesday night." Yes, it's certainly looking that way.
I believe Steve's got his eyes on Grupo Uno as well, with the potential of a trip.
So yes, I'm definitely looking at a trip. I was looking at with the Champions League final next Saturday as well. Obviously, they've shifted a lot of the games to Sunday, and I can make it work, but it's more difficult. Yeah. Whereas I think if we manage to get into third, then we get that second home game, which would be the weekend after, which would be the weekend of the 8th, I think it is.
8th, yeah.
And it could be Saturday or Sunday as well. Yeah. So obviously we pray for Saturday if we can. But I think that would be my favoured way of doing things, is getting that second home leg, avoiding all the mess around the Champions League final and just watching Malaga either get there or don't get there. I think it's too much of a risk for me to book a flight and assume we're going to get through the playoffs, because it's a lottery, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the weekend what we're free is the week of the 8th of the 9th, where currently, as we finish 4th, we were playing 3rd from Grupo Uno, and we will be at home first. So, like Nick was saying earlier, another benefit of finishing 3rd is we get the home leg second, which in many cases is an advantage.
I would definitely say so. I think especially when you've got, depending on who you get, and you get your, all your fans behind you, 25 to 30,000 fans in La Rosaleda, backing you in that game. It can be like a 12-man. Early goals going in Grupo Dos as well, Luke. After 2 minutes, it is sort of the game that will never happen again, I suppose. Alcoyano against Intercity. Both of these teams, for separate reasons, might not be in this league next year.
Yeah.
But it's Alcoyano who, after 2 minutes, have taken the lead there. So
I feel like we need some bit of music or something, Nick, for the goal update, because I'm coming here live with major news right now. Celta Vigo Bay, Fortuna. I've just taken the lead against Barca Bay. So as we say, this has changed already, and it's going to keep changing. Celta Bay have now jumped to 2nd place, Gimnastic 3rd place, and Barca Bay are 4th. So we are back to playing Tarragona.
Right, I see. Yeah, I didn't realize that Celta
today.
Fortuna
This can really be crazy today. Ponferradina they're currently drawing 0-0. If Ponferradina score, they also can jump up to 2nd place. So I'd like to say that I'm looking at the exciting today.
It is. It is like Steve says, it's a busy one. Hello, the German ref. He says, "Good evening, guys. Nice for you to be here." Balamas, do you like matches in June? It's a long season and a temporary promotion to a second league. It really is. And as well, the bad part is that if you do get promoted, you then your summer is curtailed even further, because the Segunda starts in sort of mid-August, sort of like around the 15th, 18th of August. Whereas Primera doesn't start again until September. So they kind of have the full summer of things. So in a way, it's kind of like double whammy, because you're getting promoted. Yeah, it's great. But then you're buggered because you're like, shit, I've got to be back in the training ground in 2 weeks' time. I've not really had a holiday. And I don't want to assume that's why some teams struggle when they go up. Certainly not initially. Like, don't get me wrong, this year you can see, Racing Ferrol, Eldense seem to be doing quite well. But it can play on your mind, can't you? Steve Jackson says, do we think all games will be 7 p.m? I think they are all at 7 p.m. I think they're all happening at the same time. I think the intention was to split them out over 2 days, but with the Champions League final on the Saturday night, I think they've decided to put the first round all on Sunday night at the same time. So we'll have 4 games happening all alongside each other on that Sunday on the 2nd of June. And Balam also says, did expect Real Madrid to win the Champions League? Oh, do we expect Real Madrid to win the Champions League? I'd put my mortgage on it.
Yeah, I do. And we've got the perfect guy to go into more details about Real Madrid when needed.
Yes, he does. He's already got in there as well, confirming that the first leg will take place at either 7 or 9 o'clock Spain time as well. In terms of everything that's happened on the pitch, Luke, I've not really seen anything happening.
No, I think it's. I think we alluded to it before the game. It's got a very end of the season feel to it. I mean, for me, Malaga just come out of this game today with no injuries, and we'll take that. Nobody wants to lose a game, but is this a game where you're that arsed if you lose? We are where we are. Just get out without any suspensions, any kind of injuries. Just regarding them kickoff times, Nick, it makes sense purely in Spain, obviously, in June, the end of May and June, because the temperatures are that high, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, you start to see more of those evening games creeping at the back end, especially in, you see them a lot more in Segunda here as well. So I'm just looking here, Luke. I was curious as to what we said before about the Pichichi.
Yes.
And I thought that Jesus Di Miguel had 20 goals, but he actually only has 16 goals.
Yeah, I thought
I'm
it
sure
was right.
Roberto has only got 14 goals, so we could be in for a little bit of a top scorer Pichichi shootout today.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Based on the first 12 minutes, I can't see Roberto bagging a hat trick today. Maybe 3 touches.
It might be struggling. No.
Frederick with
some
a great
changes
comment
as well. Just to bring up to date with some of the scores going in. Athletic B are now trailing by 1-0 to Real Murcia. Just happened on the other side of town, in fact. And also, Cordoba are 1 goal to the good against Algeciras CF as well. So goals going in as we get them here in Primera this evening. I feel quite nice. Feels like very, very Jeff.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna jump in there as well then as a perfect time. So in Grupo Uno, obviously, like we mentioned, Celta Fortuna have gone 1-0 up against Barcelona Bay. We've got Lugo, our old friends Lugo, who are 1-0 up against Sabahel. We have Ponferradina, who have gone 1-0 up against Terreal or something. We'll go with Terreal. So the league's not updated, but this could really change, I believe. Besides that, Fuenlabrada have gone 1-0 up against Gonela, and that is all that we've got. So if the league updates, we now have, at the moment, it's all exactly as it was. We've got Celta Fortuna 2nd, Gimnastic Tarragona 3rd, Barça Bay 4th, and Ponferradina 5th. So really crazy scenes in that league, as just 1 goal can change it all.
It is. It really does. Frederick has mentioned in the comments as well that his life on Twitter peaked yesterday when Salva Ballesta liked to post about the Legends game. He made him fall in love with Malaga way back when. Proper striker and some good old Duda magic. Yes, I feel like Salva Ballesta definitely looks for his own name on Twitter, because he also liked a couple of my posts. He liked a couple of the Gibbycast posts as well. As Gennaro battles his way through here. Oh, Roberto's found Ferrero on the right-hand side. You've probably all seen this already, but Ferrero squares it away. Goal! No, I won't lie. I definitely saw some limbs from Alex Ashmore in the build-up to this. I get the beauty of this. I was expecting something to happen, but Alex Ashmore, walk us through that goal.
So it was a lovely move, actually. A lovely ball from Roberto, slotting a pass through to David Ferrero, and it was a kind of chip / I don't really know what it was, but it rolled towards the back post. And to be honest, I thought it was going out for a goal kick, but it went in. And the Malaga fans, to be honest, there's actually more Malaga fans in the home end than there are in the away end. There's a group of probably about 100, 200 of them over the other side where Matt, Paul are sat. But yes, there was chance of Si se puede and then vamos a atender. So, yeah, a good start. I think, to be honest, Malaga have dominated. Real Madrid have offered a little bit going forward, but Malaga have been comfortable. Very strong tackle there from Juanpe. But, yeah, good start, 1-0.
It is good start, 1-0. Thank you very much, Alex Ashmore. We'll let you return to the shadows. Yeah, great goal there, Luke, wasn't it? And that does change things as things stand. Obviously, Ibiza are drawing at the moment with Recreativo Huelva, but that means as things stands, Malaga now jump into third, which means they'll be put into the other side. But again, that could all change as well if Celta Fortuna aren't in it anymore. That means that Barca Bay are back in that side with, I think it would be...
we've got Barca Bay currently. So it would be Malaga away at Barca Bay next week and at home the weekend of the 8th and the 9th. As things stand.
As things stand. Steve Jackson in the chat saying Sky Scanner on Meltdown. He's definitely looking to get some flights out there. But yeah, for me, which one would you take, Lou? Would you go to Barca Bay? I don't know where they play. I imagine it's somewhere near the Mestalla.
There's two plans. They're all around Tarragona and Barca Bay. So you can stay in Tarragona and it's about an hour train journey across to Barca Bay.
Where do they play though? Is it at La Masia or is it?
Yes. They've got like a similar setup to this, like a good stadium. I believe the women play there as well. You know yourself, when it gets to playoffs, every game's going to be hard. In terms of the visual point, a Gimnástica, a famous club, a big club, it'd be good to see a stadium filled. If we play Barca Bay, will their stadium be full and stuff like, you know what I mean? Like, will it have that kind of playoff feel to it? However, do we want a tougher game? You know what I mean? It's like catch-22.
Oh, well, I think in this one, by the reading of things from a Grupo Uno, it feels like there isn't an easy game. The fact that those playoff sides all are intertwined at the minute and all, taking over each other and leapfrogging each other, it seems like whichever one we get isn't going to be an easy game at all. So,
the thing is with Grupo, the thing is with Grupo Uno as well, I've looked several times where obviously Malaga's got a good defensive record this season. I think we've conceded 25 or 26, which is a good 10 less than any team in our league. However, you look at Grupo Uno, I think there's at least 3 teams who's conceded either 25 or less. So it is a very tight league. I know we've asked the question ourselves before, is Grupo Uno stronger than Grupo Dos? You can't tell until the teams match. I mean, there's some poor teams in our league. There's got to be some poor teams in their league.
No, though I think that's exactly it. I think the mixture of the levels here, as Real Madrid have Real Madrid Castilla just won a free kick in a dangerous area here. I've not seen any limbs from Alex Ashmore just yet, so I assume things haven't gone too badly. But I agree. I would argue that I think Grupo Uno is easier. I think the sheer amount of B teams they've got in there is a big part of it. And don't get me wrong, they are good B teams because they are all up there. Like you say, you've got Barca Bay, Celta Fortuna, you've got Real Sociedad Bay as well. And I'm sure there's another one knocking around there as well. But the fact that so many are involved in Osasuna yes, exactly. Yeah, that's it. But the fact they're all up there sort of says something about the rest of the teams in that league. Not saying that they're bad, but I don't think they're better than. Look at this side of things where you've got Recreativo Huelva, Castellón, Real Murcia, Algeciras, all sorts of permutations and big clubs that genuinely want to get promoted to the Segunda as well.
I totally agree. I mean, when you look at it, obviously Barca Bay, huge club, etc. You're looking at ours, we've got Atleti Bay and Castilla. So the biggest B teams of them all, I guess. And where are they in our league? We've got Castilla in 10th and Atleti Bay in 9th. So it's clear to see that the Bay teams are taking advantage of Grupo Uno, whereas in Grupo Dos, they're not struggling, but they're not challenging for anything.
No, that's it. And I wouldn't necessarily say if you look at the league as well. I tell you what, if you was to ask me to paint the league or write the league down at the start of the season, with my very, very limited knowledge of Primera Grupo Dos. Oh, Herrera with a fucking wonderful save again. Oh, that was a well-worked move by Castilla there. It came through to Hangel, who tried to spin it around the side of Herrera, but he made himself massive. And he's a perfect save there. This Alvaro kid as well looks huge.
Yeah.
What a lovely little touch that is into the path of Angel. And well done for Herrero for meeting it. Looking resplendent once more in his full pink kit. But yeah, as I was saying, I think if you was to look at the teams that are up in and around the playoffs, for example, with Malaga, you probably would have said they'd be around there. Do you know what I mean? Like I say, I don't think there's been any true surprises. Maybe Antiquera you would class as a surprise package.
Yeah.
But for the most part, teams in and around the bottom half, I think in any which order you would have had them, that you would have expected them all to be down there, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, in our league, we've particularly got some huge clubs: Castellón, Córdoba, Huelva, Murcia. The teams who's all been in and around La Liga, granted a hell of a long time ago, and granted a lot of things happened at these clubs, but we know better than anybody. Malaga, former Champions League club, now at this level, stuff like that. I mean, the other side, Depor, finally getting out of there. And like we know, there is a hell of a lot of sleeping giants at this level.
They really are, and like I say, you look at, I'm not massively well versed in the teams coming up, but I don't think there's any truly massive standout names. I know Marbella are involved in the playoffs, for example, but not too much in terms of that. But teams dropping down from Segunda, like you look at, I think Andorra are down there, if I remember rightly. Like, I'll just Google it for us now, but I think Amorebieta as well.
Yeah, Alcorcon, Villarreal Bay, who I believe, if the system stays the same, we will get Villarreal Bay in our group. But again, this is Spain. A hell of a lot of things can change. Like Michael Phillips says, surely no easy games in the playoff. There definitely isn't. As proven.
They don't exist.
You regularly see in the UK, the team who's finished 6th and 30-odd points behind second place will get to the playoff final, etc. Out to you guys. Who would you guys prefer? I understand that all of us, we don't particularly know loads about these clubs or anything, but have you got a particular favourite who you would want Malaga to be faced up against? That's whether it's down to travel or just interest in who we can actually beat.
But it's still 0-0 between Recreativa Huelva and New Ibiza at the moment. Antiquera are 1-0 up against the already relegated Melilla. And Atleti B have managed to turn things around as well. They're now winning 2-1 against Real Murcia. So plenty of things happening in Grupo Dos.
Where are we? Grupo Uno, we still have the important one is Celta Bay winning. Inevitably, Deportivo have just taken the lead. They're 1-up against Real Union. Besides that, mate, we are all the same in this division.
Absolutely. Yes, we can, Mr. Alex Ashmore. Please, if there is anyone watching the comments on, I think it's Facebook.
Do not click.
Do not click on that one. It says it's RFEF, which is good cover.
I mean, we're doing well. We are doing well with the lives, but I don't think we've got to that level.
No, but Kay Quinn does as well say, if you are in Spain, this game is also on Real Madrid TV. So, bonus for those fans. So we don't have to subscribe to FEF TV.
I wonder why Alex hasn't got been given that gig today then. Our very own Mr. Real Madrid TV.
It is.
Look at him there in the comments.
Real Madrid TV?
He's like a puppy dog. Did somebody say Real Madrid TV?
You might just say Alex Ashmore. That he is Real Madrid TV to me. Yeah. I don't know anyone else who works for them.
Frederick's comments just keep getting better. But see Willy Caballero, Rude, Batista, Jesus Gomez, Camacho, etc. Back in the Malachi, it was something else. And we were talking last night, weren't we, Nick? It was such a spectacle.
Oh, it really was. I absolutely loved it. And I was having a great time live tweeting it, giving the free reins of the GIFs on the GiryCast feed. But do you know who I was most impressed with? Like from the whole thing.
I've got one as well. But go on, you go first.
Do we think it's the same one?
I don't believe so. But...
Right, my favourite to watch, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And he only made like a half an hour appearance at the start.
This might be it.
Rotetta was absolutely fucking brilliant. 4 years old. I was like, bloody hell, get him signed up.
Mate, it was about 17 minutes in. I can't remember who it was, but they like played a pass out for him out wide. A good 5-10 yards in front of him. Rotetta obviously has enjoyed his retirement. Like we all will one day. We'll be sat on a beach with a couple of victories. And then he gets and he just whips an absolute whirly left foot crossing. Rotetta is my Biznaga of the late Leyendas match.
He was absolutely brilliant to watch as well. And, you know, it was enjoyable because I was kind of like looking at, and don't get me wrong, Luke, I was never really truly an athlete. I was semi-athletic. But to see Diego Tristan in the state that he was in, but still pulling out the goal, I was like, whew, shows that the big boys can still do it.
Those big men do not lose that magic in the feet. As Real Madrid come... Oh, what a save. What a save, Herrero. Wow. Purely the Real Madrid player, number 22, I'm not sure of the name, hits it from 18 yards out, takes a wicked deflection. Herrero's going for a hot dog. Then just spins back, picks the ball one-handed. That was fantastic. Palacio it was.
I think I need to get my stream up to date. I was about 4 minutes behind you then.
Are you not there?
I wasn't. No, I
wondered why you want like dancing around.
What are you looking at?
But guys, if everyone's up to date, Herrero again, like, I know there's no words to sum his season up, but say your piece on Herrero, because what a player. That is a great save.
I want to see now if I can get caught up quickly.
Ram has said the Real Madrid TV stream right now is 80% bus for tonight, 20% match. Oh, sorry, but for tonight, 20% match. So I believe the coverage will very quickly turn to Real Madrid's home tie against Real Betis, I think it is.
Ah, right, I see.
That's why they've not rang Alex up today, that's all.
Yeah, he might have to hot step it over.
What minute are you on, Nick? We had a minute check.
I'm currently now I've just reset everything. I'm on 27:52-ish.
I've just gone to 28:10.
Fucking hell.
Is the Wi-Fi not working in Lancashire today?
I've got no idea what's going on. Why so bad?
Finally caught up. Pay your bills, man.
I'm at 28:12 now, so you're going to be surprising me a little bit, I imagine.
So basically, we're watching the game. So you're going to see Alex celebrating first. I'm going to have to hold it in for 15 seconds.
Yeah, I'll watch Alex first, and then I won't let anything on. I'll let you have the genuine surprise.
Yeah. Matt Butler, evening lads. What have I missed? Evening to you, Matt. I hope you're having a good weekend. You basically missed a good Ferrero goal, shall we say? Maybe a bit of a goalkeeping error, if anything. But yeah, great finish. Málaga, relatively comfortable, knocking the ball around well. And you've just missed again one of the saves of the season by that man, Don Alfonso Herrero.
Yeah, I think the build-up to the goal was excellent. I think it was more impressive than the actual finish, and kind of just snuck in at the back post, didn't it?
Yeah.
But
do you think this is like a comfortable environment for Málaga, Nick? Obviously, the surface and surroundings is probably one of the best of all at this level again. There's no hostile environment. It's the end of the season. It's a comfortable game to be playing in. I mean, if we played somewhere, even say like away at Algeciras, where there's going to be a bit of a hectic crowd, etc. This should be relatively relaxed.
I think the moment we see Kevin stand on the ball, that will be a true indicator of how relaxed we are in this game. But I can absolutely see your point. Alex just says in the chat there that the majority of fans in the Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano tonight are Malaga fans. Obviously, a lot more of the Real Madrid fans have copped for going to the Betis game. Yeah, I would certainly say that there are harder ways to end the season, but this is Malaga. Don't forget.
Yeah.
we have a tendency to say shooting ourselves in the foot sometimes, but yeah, well, we're half an hour in here, and I don't think we've been troubled too much. 2 brilliant saves from Alfonso Herrero, but Malaga have largely been in control, I would say. I think Castilla just looking for that moment of magic, aren't they? They're just waiting for something to happen and they can surprise us.
I mean, I suppose this kind of game can also be dangerous as, wow, you'll see that one in a minute. This can be dangerous, obviously. We know ourselves in Spain, players at this level especially generally only have 1-year deals. There's going to be players playing for their contracts, but these guys are the next best of Real Madrid. A lot of these players will not be part of Real Madrid no longer after this season, including the legend and manager Raul, who's been very heavily linked with a job in the Bundesliga.
Yeah, that gets me this way. I think we were kind of talking about this on the pod this week, is that, if you actually look at the amount of players that go through from the the Real Madrid team, that it's not always that many, is it? There's only a handful that sort of made the jump up, especially compared to times of old. Real Madrid are quite happy to go and make sure that they're buying some of the best young players in the world in a minute, which begs the question: why the fuck do you even have this team? Your own Nico Paz and people like that look like they're getting opportunities, but do we genuinely see them being part of the Real Madrid starting 11 for the next 10 years? Alex would obviously be able to tell me more.
Yeah,
but I don't see it. A lot of the players go on elsewhere. You look at Martin Odegaard, for example. He could. For me, I think he could play for Real Madrid, but obviously they all differently.
The thing is, they have a system, don't they? With we had the discussion the other day about Kubo. The Real Madrid motto seems to be bring them on, loan them out, sell, but also either have a great buyback clause or a sell-on percentage. Whereas we've seen, and that is not good news.
No, I've got to say, I saw Alex Ashmore slump back in his chair.
Yeah.
And I'm just seeing why. Well, fucking hell. Well, Alex Ashmore.
The beast, Alvaro.
That was shocking.
What have we just watched?
I thought, what on earth is he doing there? He was heading it back towards his own goal. Or, putting it back, playing it back towards his own goal. And the striker was just waiting there. It was stupid.
That is weird. That's worse than Sunday League. That really is.
Shocking.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, why the fuck has he done that? Like, that is your captain. That is a man who should be getting the ball out and just bloody launching it if he's not sure. But to put it on a plate for their top striker is just fucking stupid.
Yep. Alex, obviously working closely with Real Madrid, etc. Who is the 3 players from this Real Madrid team who, has there been any talk about progression? Obviously, we've said about Nico Paz before.
I think the obvious one is Nico Paz. Then you look at Jacobo, who's been in and around the first team quite a lot this season. Obviously they've seen something in Jeremy De Leon, who they signed from Castilla. And, I think a few others,
the fullback Tobias, maybe.
Yeah, Tobias. I think, obviously Theo Zidane is always going to be in with a shout. But yeah, I'd say the main 2 are Nico Paz and Jacobo, who's a centre-back.
What's the atmosphere like, Al?
It's good. It's mainly Malaga fans. There's obviously Real Madrid fans here, but mainly Malaga fans. There's a small section over the other side. But yeah, very nothing hostile or anything like that. It's it's a good atmosphere.
Am I right in thinking that there is actually a Madrid Peña regarding Malaga?
There is Boquerones in Madrid. I've been to watch a few games with them in the past. Very nice bunch. And I imagine some of them will be here today.
Fantastic.
Would certainly like to think so. Yes, well, now 1-1 here, and I will return Alex back to the broom cupboard. Thank you very much, Alex Ashmore. So, what does that do for Malaga's league position at the moment? Well, I will tell you. I assume it means they drop back down to 4th position. And then just to confirm that it does, 1 point behind Ibiza. Ibiza still drawing away at Recreativo Huelva. Just a minute check from you, Luke. I'm now on 35-24. I don't know if I fixed everything. Are you still 20 minutes ahead of me?
35-45.
Bloody hell, 15 seconds.
Keep going, Nick. Keep going, Bobby. Just as you've said regarding ourselves, Nick, I can confirm that again. Currently, we are tied up with Gimnastic Tarragona as they are 3rd and we are 4th. So, keeping up to date again, we will currently be playing Gimnastic Tarragona at home next week and the following away leg on the 8th and 9th. So, at the moment, perfect for my little plan, but I'm not being selfish. What will be here.
It will. Malaga, seemingly shooting themselves in the foot as I'm watching Alvaro. I'm sure you've seen this actually play out fine, but
I've tried not to watch it. Nick, very, very good question here. Just jumping in first, we've got a hello from Ristante. I believe Ristante is a new viewer. But Stevie Jackson, is there a comparison between Ten Hag winning the FA Cup and probably getting the sack, and Sergio Pellicer, if Malaga get promoted, getting the sack? Will everyone be happy next year? I think in a football club, not everyone's ever happy. But in terms of yourself, Nick, if we go up, could you see Sergio getting the sack?
I don't think he'll get the sack. So say I think I think there'll be a mutual parting here, which is a lot more common in Spain. Like you say, we've seen managers who get promoted into Segunda, for example. The Albacete manager a couple of years ago was a good example of that. The clubs constantly look to improve themselves, and they'll look at managers who come up from Primera, for example, and say, well, maybe they might not make the grade. We need to change something here, or we maybe need to have a different style of play to play in Segunda. So I would see it more that Sergio gets to go out on his own terms. I think that's why he's not been sacked already, if that makes sense, because obviously teams have been making moves. Ibiza changed their manager to try and, better themselves in the playoffs. But for me, I think it'll be a sort of a mutual separation. Sergio, I think, has realised he's probably taking his team as far as he can take them. Yeah. There's not going to be much scope to improve them if we don't get promoted. That's a big part of it as well. So it'll be interesting to who comes in next. We've spoken about Medina at Antequera being a good option. Would he like to step up, young manager? I think the way that Lauren is looking at it, I think he'll want to bring in his own man as well. That's the other part of it, is that there's such an important relationship between the sporting director and the manager in Spanish football, which is why the most successful teams always have a great working duo. And Malaga just don't have that at the minute. My understanding is, Loren and Sergio are colleagues, but no more than that. I don't think they are that way inclined, if that makes sense.
I mean,
I'm just looking at Raul on the touchline here and think, if he's looking for a job, I'm not saying he's any better than Sergio, but it'd be a good, way to cut your teeth in a proper job.
You look at it another way, Nick. Obviously, Sergio Pellicer, a lot of us have fell out of love with him as of late. I mean, probably up to February, I were 100% behind Pellicer, maybe even March. Then you do start looking into it and thinking we don't really change much. Our tactical nuance isn't as it probably should be. But a lot of people have said that Sergio Pellicer is a manager not to get you promoted, but a manager that keeps you in a league. If we was to go up, would the transition of not defensive football, but to try and stabilise Malaga for a season back in Segunda, would that, I know we don't want to watch that kind of football at all, but if we was to go into Segunda, nothing would be worse than to see Malaga drop straight back down. I think that would be more effective in terms of the state of the club than if we don't go up this season. I believe if we don't go up this season, we can rebuild quickly. Whereas if we then turn into a yo-yo club, I think it could be quite disastrous.
I'd agree with that to an extent. like first to sort of address the Sergio Pellicer thing. A lot of people have said he's the kind of manager to keep you up, but let's not forget he's now been relegated twice in 2 seasons from Segunda. Before this one, but once with Fuenlabrada and then a second time with Malaga, and I'm not going to ascertain blame to both of them because he picked those clubs up in their lowest ebbs. But for me, we say about, being a yo-yo club, that there's probably a lot more benefit to being a yo-yo club and going back up to Segunda and getting the delta difference in payments is something like 7 million. For example, 7 million into club coffers is a massive amount of money. That means even if we did get relegated straight away, we have it then. That's the other side of it. Whereas extensive periods in this league, as we've seen with Deportivo La Coruña, can really start to grind on things, and you start to see players come in that maybe aren't as good as the players you had the year before. And, it's taken them this season, to have a manager who can really play, good football, and also a talisman who is accepted, a very low wage package for this level, for the kind of players that he is in Lucas Perez as well. So,
who's been effectively, from what I've seen, single-handedly taking him up. Like, that's the commitment that they get down at Riazor.
And I think that's it. And I think if he was to say to me, if he was to say, compare the Depor team that played their first season at this level and compare it to this one, I wouldn't necessarily say that it's better man for man.
No, of course not.
So,
I mean, I'm 100% with our guy Alex Ashmore, and especially after hearing the interviews last night, we are Ruud van Nistelrooy fans on this podcast. I think Nick said before, when I made the scenario of him signing a deal on the Friday night, he was PSV Eindhoven manager. He did very well at PSV. It is a little bit of a drop. I know we'd accept the Malaga job on any kind of offers, but Malaga doesn't mean everything to everybody. So,
well, it begs the question, really, because Ruud van Nistelrooy, obviously you saw a lot of him around the club last night after the Legends game. His involvement, he obviously still speaks Spanish as well, which is very, very helpful. But he hasn't got another job since. He left PSV Eindhoven at the back end of the previous season. So maybe he would. Who am I to say? This
is getting better and better in the comments. I mean, Ruud van Nistelrooy, assistant of Willy Caballero.
Yeah, but Willy Caballero's got himself a really good job.
Guys in the comments, you tell us from last night's Leyenda match. Let's put a what shall we say, a 5-man coaching team from the Legends game last night. Who would you want to see on Malaga's bench? Not to play. Because we all saw the pictures of Van Nistelrooy, Camacho, Batista, and you're thinking, if we had these guys on this playoff bench, we'd be in Segunda now, basically.
I generally was watching Camacho for large parts of it, and don't get me wrong, I know that he had quite an injury-plagued career.
Yeah.
But out of all of them, he still looked like he could actually, really do something. As a player. Don't get me wrong, I really liked Gerardo. I thought that back heel for Katana was just spectacular and exactly what you want to see.
The finish from Katana.
He still got it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a huge Ignacio Camacho fan, and I believe Camacho is only still like 35 or something. But he's, like you say, he had a very disastrous career. Basically, when he left Malaga to Wolfsburg, his knee blew up, and then I'm sure it blew up again, which knee injuries are very, very hard.
Right? Did he go out to South America as well, if I remember rightly?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Camacho did, to be honest. I can find out. But I mean, Camacho was one of our more recent leaders. I don't believe we've had too many leaders since Camacho.
No. Ram also says that he wants to go back to Spain. Does Ruud van Nistelrooy? So watch that space. And Alex also says he finished his career in Germany, so you'd assume I imagine that's at Wolfsburg or maybe someone.
Yeah, so he stayed at Wolfsburg, effectively just getting him up now. He played 177 games for us, which explains how much of a legend he is. He got the move to Wolfsburg, and in 3 seasons he made 17 appearances, unfortunately.
I always remember being a great signing on FIFA. That was my one. Oh,
And
Roberto.
footy manager.
Yeah.
strangely, he only had one cap for Spain. But as I say, this was in the
you say strangely, but this is
the
a
era
time
of
where,
Xavi, Iniesta, Xabi Alonso, etc. So yeah, you can understand.
yeah, Xavi, Iniesta, Xabi Alonso. Who else was there? Even players just a little step below him, like Marcus Senna, for example. He had a lot of competition.
Senna, what a player, Marcus Senna, what a player.
He was once linked with Matt Harrison's beloved Swansea, if you believe, but yeah, it was a tough team to get into at that time. Just bringing some more goals from around Grupo Dos. It's still 0-0 between Castellón and Sanluqueño. Alcoyano still beating Intercity 1-0. Atleti B are 2-1 up against Real Murcia. Recreativo and Ibiza is still 0-0. Antequera 1-0 up against Melilla. Baleares 1-0 up against Recreativo Granada. Cordoba still winning 1-0 against Algeciras. We're obviously drawing here as we see. San Fernando against Linares Deportivo. Big game down at the bottom there. Still 0-0, and Merida versus Ceuta 0-0 as well. So plenty going on around Grupo Dos.
Jumping on that, Nick, with Grupo Uno, we have Celta Bay still 1-0 up, Deportivo 1-0 up, Lugo and Sabajel is now 1-1. Unionista have got 1 up, Arendero. Ponferradina is 1-0 up still. Osasuna Bay are losing 2-0 at home to Real Sociedad Bay. Cultural Leonense are getting beat at home to Sestao River. Gimnastic is 0-0 still, surprisingly, we're bottom of the league. Fuenlabrada is 2-0 up against Cornella, and Tarazona is 0-0 with Lagrones. I'd love to see Alex's face as we're turning full Cultural. He'll be laughing.
No, don't, because I was on the podcast with him and Chris the other day.
Hey, I thought they were harsh.
I thought they were harsh for it. I would say Bernabeu. Fuck off.
Even I felt the dagger going into your back several times.
Like I say, we all say, and I'll tell you what, I'll bring Alex Ashmore back in now because it is half time.
There we go. Then we can see.
You once said Bernabeu. I know you did. I know you used to say that just because you live in Madrid now and that you're all fancy.
I have said Bernabeu. To be honest, when I'm not speaking in a professional context, I do say Bernabeu.
The fact he considers the Giri-Cast professional context is heartwarming more than anything. But Alex, obviously 1-1 at the Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano right now. Perfect. What have you thought that first half?
It started off really well. I thought we weren't creating a lot, but we were controlling possession. We were stemming any attacks. I think they were unable to really get anything going. I think the goal came at a good time. We were pushing on after the goal, but slowly after that, we slowly allowed them back into the game, and they got the equaliser. And to be honest, I think they were the better team up until maybe about 2 or 3 minutes to go there, where we had a little bit of possession and we were looking for a second goal. But to be honest, I think 1-1 probably a fair result. I'd say, for the first 20, 25 minutes, we were the better side, and then, Castilla came back into things.
Alex, regarding the situation in Grupo Uno, do you have your preference on who you'd prefer?
To be honest, I'd say I probably prefer Celta Vigo B or Celta Fortuna if I can.
We're also now joined from another person at the Estadio Alfredo Di Stefano. It's Senor Matt Harrison. In a bucket hat.
Hit me, baby, one more time. So
I
can't hear you. I'll just speak.
I can't hear you because they're playing some shit cover of "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time." I'm sure Alex has given a much more well-rounded view than me. It's not great, is it? And just when I was saying to Paul, I was like, "Oh, Juanpe's playing really well, isn't he?" And then he just kept giving the ball away. So, I don't know. I think Puga's been good. Well, that's it.
Yeah, how are you enjoying the stadium today, Matt? Obviously, this is
I think stadium review surprisingly good, actually. I'll give you a little tour there.
Beautiful stuff. Beautiful.
Yeah.
The weather looks
good. But it's very hot. I will say as well, the stewarding is absolutely mad. They checked every single. They literally put their hands down my socks. Um, and
I
they
thought you were smiling
literally
today, Matt.
there's a woman in front of me with, and her scarf says Bocarones on it. They checked every scarf coming in to see what it said on it, and they took it off her because they thought it must be Frente Bocaron or something. And she was explaining, no, that's our nickname. And then there was like one guy that had Malaga on one side of the scarf, and on the other side Campeones. And the guy at the gate, like, took it off him, went to his boss and said, "Is this allowed in?" I pissed myself when I was getting checked.
Sounds
It
fucking
was mad.
horrendous.
And then, like, when we were doing Una Chitana Loca, we were all bouncing, and then someone came over to Paul, just Paul, and told him to sit down.
Well,
Just
we
to-
should know from last night's experience that
Worst.
no one should be telling Paul Hennihan to sit down.
Just to make things worse, they didn't check me at all. They just let me in.
Oh, show off.
Yeah,
Show off.
he just flashed in the path, and he went, "Oh, Senor
Oh.
Aquilmore,
Hola, Senor Alex.
bienvenido, come in."
They did recognise me.
Oh, they did reckon. Oh, that's it now. Big head.
The other thing, we do have Radler beer in the stands, and we do have some alcohol. So Alex's friend, Ewan, has just gestured to me to them. Come and drink with. I've said yes.
What alcohol is it, Matt? What beer are we serving?
And Sergio. Hey, Sergio, how you doing, Sergio?
Yeah, really good.
Sergio.
Let's see how the second half goes on, but I hope we.
It can only get better.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, there you go. There's the man himself. I was just talking about you and being told off for standing up. Stand up. What? It's the Dundee.
Dear stand up.
The Dundee Batman himself.
Are we live?
That's
are we?
just Paul Hanahan.
Say anything,
Dundee's
and then
Batman.
I'll go then, because I'm probably interrupting some of this minutes. I'm really professional.
No, just afternoon, lads. That's all. That's all I need to say.
Afternoon. Don't fuck with
Oh,
Paul
Paul,
then.
you look very handsome, Paul. You look like you've lost a bit of weight. You're looking good.
Paul Hanahan, aka the Dundee Batman.
Great to see you.
Bye-bye, Matt Harrison. Oh, it's
For
nice
anybody
to
who's
see
playing
you.
the Matt Harrison bingo card at home, you did get the I can't hear you.
Yeah. It was definitely happening there, wasn't it? But lots going on. But so Alex, obviously, you are well recognised around the stadium, local celebrity. What do Malaga have to do for this second half, do you reckon? Is it worth, I suppose, especially with all the changes in Grupo Uno at the minute, the way they're hopping around like frogs? You don't know who you're going to play at this rate. Does Sergio Pellicer change things? And does he, stick on La Rubia for a bit, Danny Lorenzo, Molina, all those players that are still on the bench?
I'd say for the moment, concentrate on coming out these first 10, 15 minutes and not conceding, because Real Madrid Castilla went into that break with a bit of rhythm. And, I think we don't want to risk going for a result and then losing. I think, we can't finish fifth, but I think if we can just consolidate and then maybe with about 60, 65 minutes on the clock, I think I'd make some more attacking changes, because they'll start to tire and, I think they'll be there for the taking.
Alex, do you think Pellicer will want to win this game to keep a winning mentality going into the playoffs?
Oh, definitely. I think you'd be silly to rest players now, because, I think unless they're on a booking, worried about an injury or a knock, keep them on, because, I think it only serves us positively to get a good result here. I think there's a risk that if you go into the playoffs with a feeling of, I'm not really that confident, it's not going to bode well for us. So, I think although, the quality of opposition might not be the highest, Real Madrid Castilla are playing well, but I still think, go for the result, try and get a second, a third. I think they're there for the taking.
Yeah, I think regarding the suspensions, we only have Victor on the bench who, if he did receive a yellow card, he will then be suspended for the playoffs. I would fully expect players like La Rubia, Lorenzo, Dione to get minutes under the belt today, just to keep the legs ticking over, etc. Would you be taking Roberto off towards the 60 Who is that? A Real Madrid celebrity behind you waving, or what? Who's this guy?
It's Radio Marca, Málaga.
See.
Ah, hola.
Amigos.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I think Roberto's been playing well. He hasn't been getting the right service. I don't know when they'll realise that lumping the ball up to him doesn't work. Give it to him at his feet. You know, he's got good control. He can hold the ball up well, but he's not going to win aerial battles. You know, he is tall, but I think he's much better when you play the ball to his feet.
Yeah, the thing is, by putting the ball up long and him winning the ball, you need players to get in behind him as well. Kevin's not really that kind of player. Alex Rams asked the question, and I believe you are the perfect guy to answer this. He just says, will there be no games next week because of the Champions League final? Will the games be on Sunday?
Yes, they're all on Sunday, either at 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock.
And also, Kay Gwynn has put, hope so, but the final between Depor and Castellón is on Sunday, which, yeah, that will be a great game, but we've got to watch these Malaga playoffs. It's so important for the club.
That will be a great game, actually. I don't know if I do want to watch the first leg. I think I'd rather watch that game.
Guys, how cool is this comment from Michael Phillips, by the way? Great job, lads. It's like watching a Spanish version of Soccer Saturday.
It is good on.
We have our very own Chris Kamara at the Estadio Stefano.
I don't know, Jeff, has there?
No, definitely. Well, I would say minute watch because I've just had to refresh it. I've basically reset the whole bloody thing so I don't end up being
busy. You look very busy.
Thing, but I'm just waiting for the teams to come back out for the second half. We must only be 2 or 3 minutes away. Luke, I'll ask you as well. Then, what would you change if you're sat there being Sergio Pecer? What do you do?
I personally wouldn't be too concerned with anything as of yet. Like I say, I feel a relaxed environment about the game. Just alluding to what I said to Alex, and I would expect David Lalubia, Dani Lorenzo, probably Dione, and Manu Molina to get minutes today. It'd be silly to leave them out for a week. End of the day, yes, these guys train every day, but there's nothing like a game environment. And why leave players like Manu Molina out of the system?
Yeah, well, I think that's it. And I think we look flatter for it now. And maybe it is a matter of maybe think of it the other way around. Maybe this is a way to get, minutes in the tank for players like Juanpe and, Kevin and people like that, just so they have got some fitness going into the playoffs. Maybe I don't know.
Totally agree. Because at the end of the day, in a season, but especially in a playoff, you need more than 11 players. The bench is going to be just as important as the first 11. So yeah, starting players like Juanpe Sangale today, I have no issues with that whatsoever. We've seen what's happened with Puga over the last few weeks. He's had his chance. He's taken his chance.
Yeah, Puga's been brilliant as well for the last couple of weeks. And to be fair, he's not really put much of a foot wrong in this game either, because he's up against that Angel lad and he loves to cut inside. And, that's the one thing I would say so far, as much as, I am putting my house on Genaro being the Chumbo at the minute, because, that first mistake he's just made there was fucking diabolical. But Kevin seems ultimately very, very quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's up against Tobias, who's obviously a very canny right back, and but you can see him being forced out wide constantly. Whereas I'd like to see him cut in a bit more and maybe try and put Tobias onto a different wrong foot, maybe. But
you've got
plenty of room for improvement in this second half still, though.
We've said it plenty of times before. You can kind of get the gist of what kind of day Kevin Medina is going to have based on the first 10 minutes. If he's on the ball a lot, etc., he's up for it. If he doesn't touch it, it's very easy to forget about Kevin Medina. Interesting, Alex. Is Genaro your Biznaga of the week on Real Madrid TV?
From a Real Madrid Castilla point of view,
He can't be far off.
no, he's probably up there. I think, to be honest, other than that mistake, I don't think he's had a shocking first half.
No.
But that mistake was just awful.
Also,
you can't be making mistakes at any level like that. I'm
just
sure.
Just based on watching you, Alex, obviously, for the guys who are watching on YouTube, Alex, you seem very popular and very comfortable in that surrounding. There's a lot of people coming. Are you the celebrity of Di Stefano at the moment?
No. That was just a journalist that I knew or I know. He Spanish, and we met a couple of weeks ago. So I recognise people and you see them, and I guess coming here most weeks you build up a rapport with those people.
Have you signed any shirts today, Alex?
Oh no, definitely could do. Matt Butler in the comments there saying loving the Malaga Ultimate Kit votes on the socials as well. We've had some belting jerseys to pick from. Yes, definitely. If you are not aware of this at the minute, we are searching for the Ultimate Malaga kit. Mr. Chris Marquez has put some options up where you get to vote for certain kits within each round, and then as you progress, we're going to hopefully find the Ultimate Malaga kit. I haven't looked at how the votes are looking just yet, but I really hope certain kits are still in the running. I've got this new one on today as well, actually. I really love this Kelme shirt with the collar. It is a bit of a stunner. So I really hope that one gets through as well. But if you do go over to either our Twitter, our Facebook, our Instagram, you can have a little look back through, and you can still vote for the ones that have maybe been posted a few days ago as well, if you would like to. We'll obviously also have the review show of this game coming out on Tuesday as per usual, and then I think we are still going to preview the playoffs. So I think we're going to preview both games in one big episode, because obviously it's a two-legged affair, if you're not aware. For both games, potentially 4 matches for Malaga going forward after this match, the first round and then the second round. So yeah, much to do.
Official attendance as well, 1,851.
Is that a good attendance, Alex, usually for Castilla? Or
Yeah, I think, usually it's about that. Anywhere between 1,000 and 2,000, I think, is normal. There are a few Malaga fans here, but I'd probably safely put a bet on saying that this is probably one of the smallest away attendances so far this season, if not the smallest. I think also being the last game of the season, playoffs guaranteed against a B team. Yeah, I think people will be saving their money for playoff trips.
You know yourself, if Malaga needed to win today to get into the playoffs, or if we were chasing a title, there'd be thousands of Malaga fans there today. They'd probably open the Bernabeu today. Put Real Madrid and Betis here and give us the Bernabeu.
Imagine if they did.
I'm not sure how you'd fit 78,000 people in this stadium, but you could manage it somehow.
Give it a good go. So just as Malaga come back out into the pitch now, or they might already be back out into the pitch, depending on where it's
they are. Both teams are out.
Yep, they're definitely not on my screen. Luke, are they on your screen? Both teams out?
I've got
Luke's
Malaga.
already finished the second half.
Just coming out now.
Luke's already finished the second half on his stream.
Yeah, I've got Real Madrid just coming out now as well. I'm hoping. Yeah. So here we go for the second half.
One thing, obviously, we all know what Real Madrid kits look like, but big fan of that goalie kit. That looks a beauty.
It is
the red
nice.
with the neon. I do like a bit of neon on the kit.
But it's the fact, it's very Real Madrid of him to go.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm going to wear neon boots, neon gloves as well. Probably got some kind of sponsorship to do it. You know what I mean?
Guys, as we're seeing now, Alex, you'll know better than us, but we currently have Dione and Manu Molina coming on at half time. So Sergio acting straight away.
Here we go. Confirmation.
Who's going to make way here?
Juanpe and Roberto off.
Oh, Roberto. So his chances of catching Jesus Di Miguel for the Pichichi Trophy seemingly gone now.
Dione and Manu Molina on.
See, the thing is now, guys, with this being a half-time move, I am slightly worried as to why Roberto's gone off at half-time.
I
would say this is the management.
I think it was just to save his legs.
Hopefully so.
I don't think he didn't look like he was struggling in any way.
Alex, just out of interest on the TV. So as we're looking at the main stand, I believe, which you must be in, that's not like it can't be a couple like Madrid City in the background or something. You can see like 4. It looks like skyscrapers, but
Yeah, so
I don't believe it will be.
If your camera would be looking at the main stand, so behind you, you'll be able to see the 4 towers, which is just Madrid, the city. But yes, Real Madrid City is sort of behind us and all around us, really. This is the sort of edge of the campus.
How far out from the city is the ground then?
From Atocha, it takes about half an hour, 45 minutes on the train. So about
Really?
half an hour, 45 on the train from the centre.
I think it was Paul Henhan and Matt. I think Matt had the idea to race across to the Santiago to the Bernabeu later, but
it's sold out.
You're right as well.
It's sold. Paul tried to get tickets, and it's sold out.
Oh, is that why the guy thumped him last night then?
He was looking for Bernabeu tickets.
Did they manage to? As I know, you can't buy tickets online for Vallecas either, but obviously Rayo Vallecano are playing too, so he maybe gets in there, but that always sells out as well, doesn't it? But what I am noticing about this, what I'm noticing about this as well, when the camera pans to the left, you get to see all the trophies that line the road, giant statues. That's a bit ostentatious, isn't it? That's like, oh, look at it. We've not only got it in our museum, but let's make some giant versions of to put in our driveway.
Nick, you know what that's as bad as? That's as bad as when Malaga fans walk in with scarves what says Campeones on it. And Real Madrid say, no. We're the Campeones. And then take your scarf.
We are the... Get your scarf out of here now.
Horrible people.
You're not allowed that sort of defamation.
That's a lovely ball from... it's magic football. Kevin with the back heel there. I'm on 46-50 here now, Luke. Don't know if you're miles ahead.
I'm currently on a replay, but I will confirm my minute. I am on 47-15.
Well, I'm going to put Alex Ashmore back behind the magic curtain, and we'll come back to him for updates as and when they happen. So, just having a little look on here. With more comments coming in, Frederick says he finds himself worrying more and more about next season. So much depends on this playoff and what sort of team we'll see in August. I think we mentioned it before about whether we go up or we go down. The biggest part is that it's just a financial difference. You say £7 million more income means you can do more with players, but this is Malaga. It doesn't always necessarily seem to go that way. And if they do stay down, in terms of players, as Matt Butler's alluding to here, I think some are contracted. I think obviously some aren't at the minute, but a lot of the younger players, all part of this generation 27, are locked in for a good long. So Dani Lorenzo, La Rubia, Musa is involved in there. Roberto, I think, is in there, though I wouldn't expect Roberto to be sticking around too much.
To be honest, Nick, just jumping on Matt's question there, I do believe that we are in the strongest place that we have been for quite a long time regarding the contracts. Like you've just alluded to, we've signed the youth players up. Players like Roberto have a year left on him. So granted, if he leaves, we will get a fee for him. But even if you remember back to last summer, I mean, in truth, they both had horrific seasons. But Juanpe, Sangale, they were both signed on 2 and 3 year deals. So there was actually thought to the process for a change.
Joaquin as well was put onto it on a 2-year deal, I believe. I think Puga has got a multi-year deal from signing in January. Ferrero is on an 18-month contract. So, I don't think it'll be too much in the way of changes, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But you can say that we definitely are, maybe lacking a little bit of edge for next season. It'll just sort of be kind of what Castilla have done, I suppose. Really just build upon the success that you've already got.
I mean, in truth, when you look at it, Nick, we know 100% that we've got a spine. Pereiro's there for at least another season. I believe Monte and Einar signed 2-year deals.
Yeah, Monte's on a 2-year as well. So
in terms of players, what contracts are going, we know Ramon is still in talks, I believe. Genaro's contract is still up in the air. Is Kevin? I think Kevin's is, or was that just an extension on the other year?
Kevin's is an extension. Yeah, I think Kevin is contracted for next year as well. So I think that one shouldn't be too bad. Just looking at the results as well in Grupo Uno at the minute, still 0-0 at Recreativo Huelva and Ibiza. The only other 0-0 game is Castilla versus San Luqueño, and it's flashing as if something's going to happen. So I don't know if San Luqueño have actually scored, but not that it matters for Castellón. San Fernando back in it against Linares Deportivo. Merida also back in it against Ceuta. They were 2-1 down. It's now 2-2. So plenty of things going on around this league. Is there anything changed in Grupo Uno?
It definitely has, mate. It has just changed this second. So what we have in terms of our actual opponents, it doesn't change. But Barça Bay have equalised away at Celta Fortuna, which means Barça Bay go back to second place, Gimnastica third, and Celta Bay are on fourth. They're in fourth. So what that is Barça Bay is on 68 points, Gimnastic Tarragona are on 68 points, and Celta Bay are on 66 points.
Well, like I say, it's just looking at that third and fourth picture, isn't it, for us more than anything?
So currently, what we've got, if Gimnastic Tarragona score against already relegated and bottom of the league Real Majadahonda, then Barcelona Bay will drop to third. Therefore, they will be our opponents currently.
Yeah, unless we can get a goal here.
Yeah.
Get a win at Castilla, and then if we go to third, we don't then be playing, I assume at the moment, Celta Fortuna. But like I said before, it also puts us in that second half of the draw with the other teams that finished there. So I think, like you say, you'll be playing Celta Fortuna being our side, Ibiza would be in our side of things as well. You'd also have Barça Bay and the outcome of that. So we're kind of already aware of the teams we're going to be playing.
Yeah.
It's just avoiding Cordoba for us. In fact, actually, no, sorry, we wouldn't be playing Ibiza if we stayed where we are.
Would it be Ceuta?
Ceuta, yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
So I think it's third versus fourth in the first leg.
Yep.
And second versus thing, but then they have a second versus fifth in one side, a third versus fourth on another. If I remember rightly, that's the way it works. It's very convoluted.
Yeah, basically second and third place, because they finish higher, they get the home advantage in the second leg.
Yes. So
you know yourself, Nick, being a Blackpool fan, etc. There's no planning behind a playoff. Like, the Malaga's not come out today thinking, right, so if we get a point today, we play them in the other side, or if we win today, we play, because nobody knows what's going to happen. Like we've seen, just the fixture alone of Barça Bay and Celta Fortuna, that's going to be crazy. That can change every 5 minutes.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely it. You know, like you're saying, and not forgetting as well, Ponferradina, you know, they're a team that got relegated with us last year. You know, a very capable side with a great fan base and good players. It's a massive lottery.
Yeah. Effectively, I see we were shy all season, but the one game what stands out massively for us getting relegated was Ponferradina away. When we got beat 2-0, where, forgive me his name, but like a 40-year-old Brazilian striker and horrific Juande defending.
Yeah.
If we won that, the charge were really on. But then we went away to Alaves, who I believe were first or second at the time, and we were way beyond the staying up at that point.
Yeah, it looked impossible, isn't it? But I tell you what, so far in this within this first 10 minutes of the second half, Real Madrid have been looking the better for things.
Yeah.
You know, really starting to get a bit of a rhythm of play behind them, coming forward, looking a bit dangerous. Not really getting our foot on the ball at the minute.
You've got to think, like you said off air, Nick, Castilla unbeaten in 5 games. They're finishing strong. So like we spoke about earlier regarding playing for contracts and stuff like that, these guys have probably woken up and thought, hold on, our future's on the line. We're that close. Whereas Malaga, I don't know, does it get to 75 minutes and then the players even start thinking, I don't want to pick up injuries, etc. I want to be here for the playoff ride.
Absolutely. Well, to be fair, like you say, it's a shot window sometimes as well, and as we've seen with recruiting the likes of Sangali and Carlos Puga, there will be players who think, well, actually, maybe I can get a move to a decent club in Segunda next year if it's on permanent or on loan. We don't want to be playing here. I think we said on the pod this week, there's a player who plays for Castilla who has got over 100 games under his belt for them. I just think, what a waste of your fucking career.
Yeah.
Nicest possible way. If you want to go and play proper professional football, stay in the bloody nest that is Castilla with no chance of getting through. And I asked this of Alex as well. Is this a player who could get into the Real Madrid team? And I'm fairly certain it was a no. What's the point? Go and play competitively in a proper stadium somewhere, maybe. But
Nick, prime example. We had a player, it didn't really work out. He went to Real Madrid C. He can't even get in Real Madrid Castilla. Lauren Zuniga. Where is the ambition there other than to put your kit on? He'll probably take selfies in the kit and tell his mates he plays for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Which technically, yes, he does. But is Lauren Zuniga ever going to play at Santiago Bernabeu? No. Why would you not put in, say, if he's leaving Malaga, why not say an Algeciras, Antequera or something? Go out there and play some proper football.
Well, that's it. If he just wasn't getting the rub of the green at Malaga, or he didn't go with the manager or whatever it might be, you would go. You should go and play for someone. There's clearly a player in there because he's been linked with Real Madrid before. He's been linked with Juventus as well. So he's not he can't be a bad footballer. As I've just watched Castilla spurn a golden chance there.
You're offside. You're offside, Nick.
Yeah, for who is that? Palacios, which is a great name.
That is a sitter. That is an absolute sitter. I don't know. Is there anybody from this Castilla team who you spoke earlier about the goal scorer Alvaro looking like a beast? Is there anybody from this Real Madrid team who you would say their contract's up, you would be looking and thinking, well, I wouldn't mind him at Malaga? Other than the obvious of Nico Paz.
Yeah, I was going to say, I wouldn't mind that Nico Paz lad. He looks like a bit of a player as well. But, and Matt's, he spotted Jeremy De Leon playing for Castellón. And again, that's another one where you're thinking, all right, you've been on the bench for Real Madrid in the Champions League, but
he's never going to get a shirt ever.
Yeah, is he going to be able to take out, like, bearing in mind that Real Madrid are buying Mbappe or signing Mbappe most likely this summer. They've got Rodrigo, they've got Vinicius. They've got players in those positions, and you're thinking, well, I know you're a young lad, but there's players who have been and done the exact same thing, like as we were talking about Asencio, who's had to go to Paris Saint-Germain to get proper football.
And that's a player who's got maybe 30 appearances for Spain, for the national team, etc.
Yeah,
Ram also agrees, Nico Paz. Guys in the comments, apologies. Who has anybody picked? Has anybody caught your eye today? Is there a particular number or a player what you'd think could do a job for Malaga?
I think that's actually it. And like I say, if you're a young lad, and this is CV enhancing. It is also being in a surroundings where you're going to have the best facilities, the best opportunities and stuff like that. Yeah, but don't stick around to the point where you can play over 125 games for them. There's not much point in it for you.
I'm not being funny. I'm not being funny. If there is the odd player from this Castilla team who are going to be effectively out of contract in the summer, they know the level. They're at this level for a reason. I mean, there's no Real Madrid player who scored over 9 goals in this team going forward. Defensively, there'll be some decent players. Would a team like Malaga be a good move for you? You're effective. I mean, in our eyes, we're a big club. And you know yourself, if you speak to majority of people in UK, they say, what, they ain't Champions League before? You're like, yes, it's not wrong. Like, surely this would be a fantastic move for a player who's unfortunately been downgraded from Real Madrid Castilla.
Yeah, but you look at Carlos Puga, for example. He's coming from Athletic Bay halfway through the season, and if you ask him, is he a better player for joining Malaga now than he was when he was at Athletic Bay? He'd say, yeah, absolutely, I am.
100%.
So
you just think for players like Puga coming to Malaga, La Rosaleda, playing in front of 25,000 plus, that's going to make a player more than. It's not as pretty as this looks on screen. Everything's immaculate. these players aren't playing in front of a proper footballing environment.
What we're actually saying is that Alex Ashmore needs to get his arse out of Real Madrid TV and come and work for Sir in English or Radio Malaga Marca, proper football in there and things like that. You know, not this sterile, bloody, everything's white and clean thing. You know,
Alex
get some dirt
Ashmore,
on your fingernails.
Alex does not get my respect until I see him reporting on Udi Torremolinos. Proper football.
Proper football, that is. And you know what? He probably wants it. And to be fair to him, he does. He's been to what he was interviewed at Marbella a couple of weeks back, wasn't he?
To be fair, he does do his bit around the non-league football.
He is. So waiting to see.
I mean, being a Yeovil fan, he probably does it more than any of us.
Yeovil fan with it, and I'll add him in to defend himself here. But did I see a tweet sort of like favouring Chelsea the other day?
Nick, this man has got multiple teams. The Chelsea story we've heard before. He's got his half and half.
Just very quickly so he can defend himself.
He's got his Atleti scarf. He's got his Madrid scarf. And he even chucked out his Dortmund. No, not Dortmund. His Munich scarf against Real Madrid.
What a shot from David Ferrero. Lovely curling effort. Brilliant save from Fran in the Madrid goal.
We are nowhere near that at my end here, right? I'll have to take your word for it.
I've just had it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you take there, Alex Ashmore, as well, that you're going to Logrono next week to watch Marbella away at Logrones. A passionate non-league Spanish football fan, really, aren't you? Underneath all the Real Madrid bravado.
Sorry, I thought it was a goal. I love football, and being able to travel around Spain and watch football, you get the best of both worlds, seeing different parts of the country, watching new teams and visiting new stadiums. So I love football, so I've got no prejudice against anyone.
Alex, I am severely depressed listening to you about traveling around Spain, watching football at all levels. Like I think I'm just going to leave the stream in a minute because I could cry. Like that is my dream.
Forcibly kick Alex Ashmore out the stream for that level of bragging. How dare he? Yeah,
Ram, do they actually have a proper stadium? Is that Castilla, Ram, or Logrono, shall we say? But yeah, I mean, if it's Castilla, then yes, this is their stadium. This is where they are based. And I believe when the Bernabeu was getting extended, it was during COVID times when they played at this ground.
He said Bernabeu.
I know, you were waiting for this. I've done so well.
Well, yeah, but that's the interesting part. Again, from a Real Madrid perspective, do you want your team, your B team, going up into Segunda? Because technically, by that, they would have to play at the home stadium. I think a certain amount of games. I think it is. I think this stadium would technically get away with it because you need a minimum of 6,000 seats to be in Segunda. Yeah. But I believe as part of it, you have to play some of your games at the main stadium. Would Real Madrid really want that? When they've got the grass underneath the ground or they're trying to put on a Taylor Swift concert, do you want Real Madrid be playing there? I don't think they would.
I would have thought, knowing Real Madrid, they'll probably just extend this to 40,000 or something.
Just recreate this to look like the Bernabeu.
It'd be interesting to ask Alex next time he is on regarding Castilla. Like, do the Madristas follow Castilla? Are they bothered about Castilla? If you know what I mean. Like for ourselves in UK, obviously the reserve system is not that big. Like Tottenham have done a fantastic job in the under 21, under 23s leagues, but is anybody that asked? Probably not. I wonder if the Madristas are that bothered about Castilla. Or sell to Real Madrid C or D or E or F or whatever else they've got.
Yeah, no, it's well that is exactly it there. The fact that they've not just got a B team that's playing in the in the system, they've got a C team as well. Is just to echo what Ram is saying in the comments there, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, to be fair, to be honest, we need to remember that Malaga have got Malagueño, Malaga C.
And I think that's fucking stupid as well. Do you know what I mean?
It really is.
Absolutely daft. I tell you what, this might sound like a bit of a radical idea, but bear with me.
Ooh.
How about you put all the B teams into their own league and they can all play each other and they can all develop? And, if you want them to get, first team experience, then if they're good enough, then they'll come in to the first team.
100%.
Imagine that. I believe it's worked for some players. There was this club, Manchester, back in 1992. Yeah, a lot of young lads, and they brought them into the first team.
No idea. You're on it. Matt Butler might know. Butler might know his team. Somebody from 1992.
Yeah, I remember it working out quite all right for them, though. You know what I mean? And they didn't have.
You don't win anything with kids. You don't win anything with kids.
No, exactly. So, just some changes here. Hanaro coming off now for a blonde Danny Lorenzo.
Hey, there he is, Matt Butler. Let's not mention the class of '92.
That was it. The class of '92. Yes, I remember it now. Now that you've mentioned it. But yeah, like you say, crazy idea. Tell you what, if you've got all these facilities and all these stadiums and you've got them all set up properly, just let them play each other. Yeah. Surely they would.
We said last week, Nick, regarding the Malagueño. Granted, the youth system is fantastic, really is. But why the hell have we got Antonito, Ochoa, etc., playing in that team when effectively 50% of our teams not performed for the last 6 months? Well, surely they've proved that they are good enough.
This is it, and again, it's the daft thing about it is, the fact that in the space of 2 days it could turn out for both sides. It's not beneficial for them at all. And
it will be interesting regarding the Malagueño.
Well. But I was to ask you this: what is the benefit, for example, if you are a B team player for Recreativo Granada this year?
Zero.
I'll just bring the league table up. So this season, they are bottom of the league with 27 points. They've won 7 games and lost 25. What's the benefit?
How many of those players, Nick? How many of those players, if you are bottom of the league, you've just said the record, what they've got, Granada first team going to look at them and think,
hold on. I have news. I have news coming straight from Huelva. Recreativo Huelva 1, UD Ibiza 0.
Oh.
So, all changing here. And if I confirm my suspicions, I believe that would put Malaga in third on the head-to-head. So, I think they would both be on 69 points.
Now, I can confirm with you, Nick, as well, would mean, as it stands, we will be playing Celta Fortuna in the playoffs with a home leg second.
Which is exactly what we want. Also, just for a bit of posterity, it's currently Castilla 0, Atlético Sanluqueño 1.
Fucking hell.
Castilla clearly already on the beach.
So that's big in terms of San Fernando are winning, but it's irrelevant because Sanluqueño are winning. And Sanluqueño have jumped above Merida and, Intercity are 15th in the league. Like, we regarded it as a decent team early in the season.
I don't want to jump the gun or anything here, Luke, but I would just watch your screen for a second.
I think I know what's happening.
Just keep your eye on it for a second.
No! Ferrero again.
Just cut back inside. Here we go. And that's Malaga 2-1. Eventually I'll get there. I saw the limbs again from Alex Ashmore.
This must be the most out-of-place stream of the season, this one.
I think it definitely is the most out-of-place stream. But Alex Ashmore, David Ferreira, once again, goal, 2-1 Malaga. It's all looking pretty rosy now, isn't it?
It is. So that goal does put Malaga in third. Obviously, the draw would have been enough to finish third. But obviously, depending on the results, and the fans are loving it.
Sounds absolutely spectacular. But yeah, just to confirm what Alex is saying, Malaga up to third now on 70 points. Ibiza still on 68. Not that it matters massively, but I think, like I say, it does help us avoid Cordoba, which is ultimately my aim if I was sat being Sergio Pacer at the moment. So it puts us into the side of the draw with Ceuta from our league, Fortuna, and I think it would be Luke. You have to remind me. Ponferradina.
It will be currently Celta Fortuna and Gimnastic Tarragona.
Would it? Are you sure?
If,
Who's in what position?
Sorry. Second player, Barca Bay.
Barca Bay, right.
But yeah, it's going to be Barca Bay versus Ceuta and ourselves versus Celta Fortuna. So if somebody said at the beginning of the season you'd be heading to the playoffs, potentially playing 2B teams, would we take that?
You certainly would do. And like I said, there can't be a massive amount of difference, for example, between this Real Madrid B team and Barcelona's B team. So you'd think if we can get a decent result here, we can also have a decent double-legged result against Barca B or Celta Fortuna as well. But again, I don't want to be writing, checks that my mouth can't cash. But it's definitely the favourable side of things for me.
Yeah.
There is a world here where we might end up playing Ceuta, and we've already, lost to Ceuta twice. So, it's not a given, is it?
I mean, we know Ceuta is not an easy place to go to away, but Ceuta came to La Rosaleda and put on a hell of a performance and brought a hell of a lot of fans with them. I know one particular guy will be happy with this. Matt Harrison said that Ceuta was by far the best and most welcoming away trips of the season. So I'm sure there'll be plenty of Malaguistas on the boat across the Mediterranean. No.
That's a big part of it as well. To say, obviously, logistically speaking, it's probably easy. I know it's obviously across a body of water, but I say it's probably easier to get to Ceuta than to get to than to get to somewhere like Tarragona all the way up in the northeast of Spain.
Vigo, northwest.
Vigo, very difficult as well. Notoriously bad to get to. Only just managed to cut down a train to just over an hour, for example. So, it'd be interesting. Like I say, I would certainly look at that. So if the Tarragona is not on, then Luke,
well,
would it still be Barca Bay maybe in the second leg if they get through there, or would it be going to Malaga for the home game?
I've just texted Laura just saying no Tarragona.
Not yet. It might all still change. You never know, Luke.
It all gets a bit awkward from here because the following weeks, Tarragona I could have put into with Laura's birthday, so that could have worked. But the following week, the 15th, my old best friend growing up, he unfortunately killed himself, and we have a charity tournament every year for him. So that is on the 15th. So any kind of trip that weekend is definitely not available. The following weekends, I wouldn't want to say, mate. I would not want to say, but we believe.
Well, I've got it's Father's Day, one of the weekends of the second round of playoff games. So I don't think I'd get away with that unless there's a really, really nice one. But I think the second leg, if it stays as it is, Malaga at La Rosaleda for the second leg against Celta Fortuna, it might be worth a little trip.
We got married on the 25th of June. So the playoff finals will be either side of the 25th of June. Laura.
Try and weigh that one up.
I mean, we go to Malaga, we go to Torremolinos for 2 weeks in July, but there's never enough time you can go to Malaga.
Yeah, can I get a trip out for Father's Day, Alex Ashmore asks. I don't think so. I believe there is something already technically planned as well, so watch that space. But my issue is at the minute I've got a trip to Barcelona booked, which I was going to go with the lads, and it's been moved back. It's been shifted to the right ever so slightly, and I need to use these flights, so why not? Why would I not use them to go and watch Malaga in the playoffs?
Exactly that. Nick Fredericks just said, Chapete from Atletico Malagueño looks an exciting prospect. Chapete has also signed a new deal, so that's another one I was tucked under. Mm-hmm. I assume he will be training with the A squad this summer. I believe so, 100%. I very much think Malaga will be preparing for the departure of Roberto. As much as it pains us and we don't want to admit it, there's going to be money coming in.
Yeah, more probably. But we've got Antonito coming on here for
Kevin, very disappointing, Kevin.
Yeah, but also Jeremy De Leon finally coming on, and it's the right back Tobias that's coming off. So are we seeing a bit of a shift in formation here from Real Madrid Castilla, which with 15 minutes left of their season feels like a bit of an ambitious move to maybe go 3 at the back. But let's see how Malaga deal with it. Antonito, I was really impressed with him in the game against San Fernando when he came on. He was quite electric, and
big fan.
I think this is a good opportunity again from here to impress.
Again, at this kind of level, why not? Why not take the risk of getting those kids in there?
Yes, just to confirm as well that it looks as if someone else has shifted to right back for Real Madrid Castilla, though I wouldn't be too sure that that's not the case. Unless
I think they've gone to a solid 3 at back by looks. You said
That
it earlier, Nick, regarding these players going to Castellon with lack of ambition. That De Leon, I believe, were one of Castellon's better players, and now he's getting 15 minutes in Real Madrid B.
Well, that's it. I think he has had opportunities with the first team, but again, sort of like sit on the bench and watch and observe him more than anything. But let's see how he gets on here against Danny Sanchez. To be fair, bit of a watch because there is a player in there. Like you say, we have seen him perform.
Definitely.
Against us in the first game of the season. He came on for about half an hour then, if I remember rightly, but obviously still very young, very raw.
Alex just confirming it looks like Real Madrid have gone to a 4-5-1 formation. And Nick, very important question for yourself off Matt Butler. Aren't you saving it for Blackpool's pre-season Spanish tour?
Potentially, yeah, maybe. I might be there anyway.
Has anything else been announced regarding that?
No, nothing yet. Like it would be spectacular if like they put a friendly on. So I know Malaga played Hull City a couple of seasons ago, didn't they? At La Manga as well. It was at so
they do play an English team per season, but you know yourself how many clubs go out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of choice. We didn't play an English team last season. I don't remember playing it.
They kept it very Andalusian, I believe.
Yes, they did. Yeah, it was very Antequera in the imagine if they play Blackpool in the Costa del Sol trophy.
It's all lined up.
Yeah. How good would that be?
We had
Costa del Sol versus the Costa del File. It would be great.
We had a really weird threesome, didn't we, as well? With Antequera and who was the other two?
I just in case my wife's watching, I promise you I've not been involved in any kind of threesome with Luke Chambers. That is a seller's accusation.
Well, last summer was the wedding year. No, but
it was like was it Malia and
Malia?
Malia were involved.
Antequera were involved.
Yeah, and Malia were involved as well. And then we played Antequera again in the the Costa del Sol trophy.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of who else we played as well. There was another Andalusian team there.
We played San Fernando in Marbella.
San Fernando, that was it. Yeah, I remember now.
Because Malaga, they as usual, they keep everyone on a shoestring. So we were waiting to see who we were playing pre-season, etc. And then they announced like 5 in space of a day. But it were all like tournament games, wasn't it? Like, we're playing somebody in the morning, somebody in the afternoon, and it all just got a bit weird.
It really did. Just some changes going around in Grupo Dos at the minute. Not that it matters for Sayuta, but they could be heading into the playoffs on the back of a loss. Merida now 3-2 in that game. Cordoba still leading Algeciras. Castellón losing to Atlético Sanluqueño. Alcoyano's last game in this league, potentially. They are leading 1-0 against Inter City. Atleti B running riot against Real Murcia 3-1. Antequera 2-0 up at home. And also Atletico Baleares is buying out with a win 2-0 at the minute at home to Recreativa Granada. Which again says everything you need to know about B teams there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Grupo Uno, we've got Celta Bay 1, Barça Bay. Oh, big goal as it changes in Grupo Uno. Gimnastic Tarragona have just gone 1-0 up, so that takes Gimnastic Tarragona to 2nd place, Barça Bay to 3rd, Celta to 4th, and Ponferradina to 5th. So regarding ourselves, not too much changes, apart from Tarragona will now be in our division.
Tarragona Tarragona against Ceuta first, and
Yeah.
then Malaga against Celta Fortuna. And then, big
that is
changes
very
there.
interesting. It's an interesting move. Just alluding on that, we've got Deportivo 2-0 up. We've got Lugo 3-1 up against Sabahel. Unionistas are 3-0 up. Ponferradina, who aren't having a great day. They're currently drawing 1-1 with Teruel, who's near the bottom of the league. They could have moved up to 4th place, but it doesn't look likely. Real Sociedad B are 2-0 up against Osasuna. Sestao River are winning 1-0 away at Cultural Leonense. Gimnastic, as we just mentioned, gone 1-0 up. Fuenlabrada 2-0 up, and Lugones against Tarazona 1-0. Just looking at the league table, Nick, when I mentioned earlier about defensive records, Tarragona have conceded 24 goals, so that's 2 less than ourselves. But interestingly, the goals scored for teams like Tarragona have only scored 40 goals, which in 38 games for a team who's second in the league really isn't good.
No,
But then on the other hand,
compare it to Malaga, for example, Luke, who we've complained all season about the lack of goals we've scored. We've scored 51. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
to flip that, our opponents currently, Celta Fortuna, they've scored 67 goals.
Oh, shit.
Which would
Who've they got in their side?
Yeah, exactly. Which would be the second top goal scorers in our league currently. Just looking at
Córdoba only scored 66.
Yeah, looking at the overall Pichichi for the 2 divisions, Barca Bay have got the top goal scorer in Pau Victor. He scored 17 goals.
Is that right? I thought.
Yeah, that effectively is it. In our division.
What a challenge that is from Flanday. Oh, he's hurt himself, but fucking hell, that was a great challenge.
Oh, yeah, that's a great tackle. I'm just miles away then. That's a great tackle. Yeah, so currently, Celta Fortuna is for Malaga. If Celta can score...
Divorce lawyers are already counting the cash. Is that your divorce lawyer, Steve, or my divorce lawyer, or Luke's divorce lawyer? If it works out, can we get a pool going? Like, can he represent all 3 of us in one go? It might be helpful.
Because if we all plan on flying over to Malaga, I don't think we can all afford lawyers. But the only thing to keep the eye on, now, Nick, is if Celta or Barca, if any one of those 2 teams score again, it switches. But it is very much looking like we are playing Celta or Barca currently.
So it's Celta and Barca are playing each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's a draw at the minute, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, 1-1.
Well, watch that space. But does that not potentially, if Barca take the winner there, does that not lift them back up into second?
Yes, it will do. Therefore, we still get Celta. Yeah. So basically, if Celta score, it changes. Besides that, no else is going to change. Even if we concede with a B for getting beat, that can't change us.
No, well, if Ibiza, the only thing that would potentially stop that right now is if Ibiza score and Castilla score. You know, if it finishes a draw and nothing changes, then it's just the point separates them still. If by some shot that Ibiza that don't score and we end up drawing, then we'd also be on 68 points, but it would be the head-to-head that does it for us, because obviously we drew with Ibiza back in November and we beat them in La Rosaleda back in March. So yeah, this is the weird thing about this one.
Like I said a minute ago regarding Celta Bay, and guys in the comments, right? So if we got knocked out in a semi-final to Celta reserve team, we'd be pissed off, wouldn't we?
Oh, I'd be mega pissed off.
Right, look at this. So Celta Bay, like I say, have scored 67 goals. They are the top goal scorers in Grupo Uno. They would be the second top goal scorers in Grupo Dos, only second behind Castilla. They are currently playing Barca Bay. Granted, it's 1-1. Celta Vigo have had 23 shots with 14 on target. Barcelona have had 1 shot.
Bloody hell.
So Celta Bay look the business. Maybe Celta Bay should be playing as Celta A.
I was going to say that just now. I was like, considering that Celta have struggled this season and have really only stayed up marginally above Cardiff. You'd think that's, again, if there was ever an opportunity for some of their players or for them to use some of their extra players, that you'd go, right, I'll tell you what, fucking your shit. I'm getting 3 lads from the B team up into here that have been playing really, really well. But clearly that hasn't happened.
100%.
Do you know what I mean? So
100%.
what's the point?
I've came into this stream, especially today, thinking if we take Celta, yeah, we'll beat Celta. Now very much looking into it.
I don't want to play Celta B.
This is something for the podcast. The podcast has just got very interesting all of a sudden.
Yeah, all sorts of different permutations to it as well. But I think, like I say, whoever you do play in the playoffs, it's always going to be that lottery. And again, you'd like to think there'll be something here, for example, with Real Madrid Castilla. And you don't know where those games have been, or who they've scored against. They might have won 8-0 against, one of the really lower ranked sides in that league. And it really does obviously boost your scoring records there. Like Real Madrid Castilla have scored 44 goals this year. So again, only 7 behind Malaga. Yeah. But they've also conceded 43 goals. Like it'd be interesting to see what have Celta conceded as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, is it?
Oh, Celta have actually conceded 37, so they are open.
Yeah, that's
regarding
exactly
what you said, Nick. Regarding what you said in terms of where we could play. I mean, I obviously don't know where Celta Bay play. I imagine it's a lot smaller setup to this. But if they opened, is Celta Balados?
I imagine it would definitely go into the proper Celta stadium.
Exactly. And I mean, if the Vigo fans aren't fully behind the B team getting into the second division, which would you be bothered if Blackpool B were going into Conference League? Probably not. Effectively, Malaga, it's a hell of a long way, but we all know how Malaga fans travel. We could take a couple of thousand fans or something. In terms of the atmosphere, it's not a scary atmosphere to go to, surely.
No, that's exactly the difference and the opportunity. But again, does it not kind of ruin it for you that those kind of
this is what I meant earlier regarding Tarragona.
Yeah, on that. Imagine there's a world here where the 2 teams that go up are both B teams, and then you keep Ceuta, who are punching well above where they should be, considering the not the restrictions, but how they have to get across to things like that. Boats in and out every single fucking week.
Yeah,
Tarragona, again Malaga, all these teams, Ponferradina, proper football clubs who could be stuck in this league for next season, whilst 2 B teams go and replace one other B team and fucking.
This is where, like you've just said, this is where the system in Spain, for ourselves as UK, if there's any Spanish viewers in the comments, please have your say on it. But this is really weird for this to happen. I mean, like you just said, you could have B teams going up. You've got a huge club like Malaga, etc. If Malaga don't go up because B teams have gone up, it's disastrous for a club like this. And like we've said with Alcoyano, the troubles with other Spanish teams, you can't survive at these levels if you can't go up. But yet they're happy to see reserve teams taking these places.
Yeah, I suppose a big question of that would be as well. And I don't know what the mechanism around it is, but as I said before, the drop that we had from Segunda, money compared to what we have at Primera, it went from like 7 million to like 700 grand, something ridiculous like that. So there must be some kind of thing in place where surely those clubs in La Liga who have got clubs playing in Segunda, like Villarreal, for example, they can't get that full amount. Sure, you can't be paying a team twice.
No,
do you get what I mean? Like it feels like, I'm giving Villarreal, they're getting 60 million for being in La Liga, but there's another 10 million as well for being in Segunda. It doesn't make a lot of sense to do that either.
No, there really doesn't. Very interesting point from Carl Smith. Celta Bay have scored 55 of those goals since Rafa Benitez left.
Is that actually fact, or
so basically when like Celta Vigo, I understand will have a style of play, and in UK you generally see Man City under under threes playing like the first team do the tiki
Yeah,
taka.
yeah.
I think what Carl's saying is that Celta Bay were very much 13 men behind the ball before Rafa went, and then the chains are off and away they go. But Matt Butler will wait for that in-depth analysis on Celta Bay on the next podcast. You will, mate, because I am going to do my hardest to dig deep in this because I'm quite fucking worried about this now. I love the Primera Party. I do love the Primera Party, but we never want to see our team get beat, do we?
No, but the thing is, like we're saying that as well. But would you put your money on Celta B being better than Castilla? I wouldn't.
I don't know because I personally, I'm not fully on this Castilla boat. They're obviously where they are for a reason. But for me, Cordoba were a better team than Castilla.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like even at home against Castilla, Castellon, sorry, not Castilla, Castellon. I thought that we had our chances against Castellon at home. We were very unlucky away, if you remember, on the first game of the season.
Yeah.
I just think at this level it's so unpredictable. You don't know what any team's going to turn up with, to be honest. I mean, like San Fernando the other week. San Fernando turned up and effectively played. I know we were shit, but they played us off the park for a long time.
Alcayano in November when they came to La Rosaleda, we were in form then, and they just came and absolutely, gave us a bit of a spanking. It was bloody. You cannot, count your eggs on.
That's been the enjoyment of it. I mean, like even for Alex as a Yeovil fan, granted he lives in Spain, but for those Yeovil fans, seeing the new places, all that kind of stuff. Nick, we've learned more about teams we've never heard of in our life this season. It's been quite fun, I think.
Oh, I definitely. I'm controversial opinion. I want Malaga to get promoted, but do I want to go back to the same fucking stupid system that La Liga have got about announcing games that could be any time between Friday and Monday night, 2 weeks before it actually happens? No, I don't.
It's hard. It's so hard. This system, I'm not being funny. There's a reason I've been to 9 games this season. There's a reason you've been to whatever amount. There's a reason Paul's been able to get out, Carl, Steve, etc. Because we know what we're doing.
Yeah,
exactly. Like you just said, it is a lottery. Unless you can afford to go Thursday till Tuesday, effectively, because they chuck Monday night games in. Unless you can afford to go for nearly a week at a time.
Well, or your other alternatives is literally you book your flights 2 weeks before you go.
Yeah, that is all you can do. That is all you can do, and we know ourselves the prices 2 weeks before is a lottery again. You're either going to jump on that cheaper, which is decent, or the flight's going to fly up.
Yep, flight's going to fly up like that. Seemingly, as we've been in that discussion, we are almost at the end of added time here. I imagine actually in Alex Ashmore's world, he's probably already at full time. So
not quite. Real Madrid, Castilla have got a corner here. All the Malaga fans are on their feet. The ball comes in. It's a shot, well blocked. Oh, the keeper's shot over the bar.
Keeper?
The keeper.
Final whistle.
Guys, this has just got interesting.
2-1. Malaga win. We're third in the playoffs. Let's go.
Hey.
It is Alex Ashmore.
I'm just going to jump onto Grupo Uno, guys, just to make sure nothing has changed. And nothing has changed. So we currently are playing Celta Fortuna.
Yes, just
left of that game, I believe.
The Recreativo game still playing down in Huelva as well. Still 1-0 to Recreativo, but not that it makes a difference because Ibiza need a 2-goal swing in order to get that third place. And I don't see that happening at this very moment in time. I worry for Ibiza going into these playoffs as well. I think, again, they had a season where they recruited very, very well, players in on pretty decent wages. Alex Gallards, who've gone in from Malaga and placed people like that. This isn't going to be good for them next year if they are, not able to get the money that Segunda brings as well. So Frederick says he completely agreed about kickoff times. He took a chance that he'd be able to see Athletic B and Malaga in April, but wasn't as worried in order to playing. as it's a long time in advance. But Segunda though, and that's the thing.
Exactly.
Even when you kick out the season and you get 4 months or 3 months in one go, it just makes it so much easier to do that. Just very quickly on this game, obviously, Ferrero completely unplayable in this match. You've been absolutely excellent throughout. Alex, would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think he deserves Biznaga. It's him and only him. The Malaga fans or the Malaga players heading over to Matt and Paul Henahan and co in the away end. Yeah, well, if you word it in a certain way.
That is on.
But yes, I think a joyous feeling around the Malaga camp, and yeah, a good win, and I think one that we can build on. Momentum going into the playoffs, and more importantly, third.
Yes, I mean we after a long stretch, we've now won 2 on the bounce heading into playoffs after a lot of criticism for the team, the players. Guys, we've got to remember as well, we've lost 1 game in 15.
Yeah, well, like you say, it's not been the most inspiring 15 games to say the least. But obviously, this
by
is
a long way.
A great result to do this. And some gesturing here from Roberto telling people to cut something out, I can see. But Alex, said anything in the stadium about Pellicer out or Pellicer VTR, just in case I'm hearing that?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Pellicer's just having a word with Raul at the moment, and I think he's heading over to congratulate the fans. No, he's turning around and he's coming back to the dugout. And I think, I think mostly content atmosphere, and I don't think there's any. I'd be surprised if there was anything. Malaga fans clapping the players as they come off here at the moment.
I did see a little moment of what is clearly mutual respect between 2 excellent professionals, and that was Raul and Manu Molina.
I knew you were going to say that. I was waiting.
Clearly, me and Raul on the same page.
I was waiting for that.
I'm going to scoot off, guys, so I can get to the press conference.
Yes, thank you so much, Alex Ashmore, reporting live from Madrid, from the Estadio.
Vamos, Malaga.
Go! Barca Bay have just scored in Vigo.
Wow.
Wow.
Which?
That brings Tarragona down into third. That means we're going to be playing Barca Bay and Celta Fortuna in our half.
So currently we still play Barca Bay, but yes, Barcelona are now in our side.
Definitely. So 2 clubs. We'll leave you. Thank you very much, Alex Ashmore, for all your help this week. See you soon. Excuse me. So, big last minute goal then for that one. So, I'm
drama.
just going to
final day drama
for Grupo Uno as well, if it lets me. Click on tables.
Oh, Carl Smith. There's a faint Ashmore VTR coming across my screen.
Yeah,
I love that. Matt, thanks for another great wash along, lads. Appreciate it. Matt, we love it, mate. And that's comments like that's why we enjoy it. Frederick, thank you for the ordinary season. Now the nervous period starts of the playoffs. Nobody likes the playoffs, but it's a fucking hell of a ride once they're here.
No, it really is. And I'm just looking just to get things confirmed. So they will all be kicking off next weekend. First legs all between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. I'm looking at this here, actually, Luke, and it's still saying that Gymnastic Tarragona are in second. I don't know if it's updated yet.
Well, SofaScore's got them as third. However, I do know that Gymnastic Tarragona beat Barcelona Bay last week, so it would be all on the previous fixture, I guess, because, it's head-to-head, isn't it?
Yeah, it's saying, but to be fair, it's also saying here that it's still drawing. So I imagine the reporting from a B team versus B team game probably is quite low. So we'll just keep an eye on that one for us there. But just to confirm, so again, all these games are going to take place next Sunday. The first round would be 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock on Sunday night. They are avoiding Saturday because of the Champions League final, which obviously Real Madrid are in against Borussia Dortmund. Then we've also then got the week after, which will be the reverse fixtures. That goes on to a Saturday and a Sunday fixture. And again, could be either or, could be Saturday, 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock. Could be Sunday, 7 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So I really hope Primera get their act together and sort that out quite quickly, because it will be Malaga versus Celta Fortuna away next Sunday night at 7 or 9 o'clock. And then the reverse fixture will be Malaga at home at La Rosaleda as well. So just waiting for B Soccer to refresh to confirm what we think we already know.
Yeah, to be honest, Nick. So I've got it as Tarragona have beat Barcelona home and away. So I believe that Tarragona are going to be second because they're both on 70 points.
Yeah, I've got still at 68. It's not updating for me at all. But if they are both on 70 points and Tarragona have got the head-to-head, then they will stay exactly where they are, which does mean that Tarragona come into Malaga's side of things. So it'll be Tarragona versus Ceuta in our side of the draw. And then it'll also be Celta Fortuna versus Malaga.
Yep.
And then after that as well, just for posterity on the other side of the draw, just so you know, it'll be Cordoba versus Ponferradina. And then it'll also be Barça B versus Ibiza. So plenty of football there. We've also got Senor Matt Harrison. He's joined us after the game there. Matt, have you got any thoughts for us?
First of all, I missed the important bit then. Who are we playing?
Celta Vigo, Fortuna.
We're playing Celta Fortuna.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that's what I thought. I wasn't 100% sure because internet is not great in this.
We've spoke about them a lot, Matt. Celta Vigo B are actually a very exciting team. They score a hell of a lot of goals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fuck up.
I suppose the big question will be, Matt Harrison, is are you going to go to Vigo on a Sunday night to watch Malaga play a B
Well,
team?
I did jokingly say to Paul when I did all the maps in my head and realized we'll probably be going to Vigo on a Sunday night. I did say, come on, Ibiza. No, I definitely won't be. I live in hope that it might be on the Saturday, but I know it probably won't be.
Full time in Vigo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be, I think
Vigo's a great place. Yeah, the game was all right in the end, wasn't it? I think it was quite better second half, but
yeah, definitely.
I don't know. Was it?
I think for watching it from here,
unconvinced.
yeah, I think we played better. It's good to go into the playoffs with 2 wins. Let's put it that way. And Luke said with 15 games unbeaten.
There was a bit of a worry at the end that it might be the second away game in a row I'd seen a goalie score, so I was quite relieved when he smashed it onto the bar at the end.
Yeah, Alex did tell us that one as well, to be fair. But yeah, no. Well, ultimately, Malaga in the playoffs. We've kind of got what we wanted. We're avoiding Cordoba, Matt, which is, I think that's the big.
Yes, we are. That's
outcome, isn't it?
That's what I said. Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's a really pretty stadium. Actually, we're walking past these sort of huge sort of. I'll try and get them in. These sort of like mock Champions League things they've got. They're quite cool. But we didn't go in that. So weirdly, they divided the Malaga fans. So it's half us on one side of the stadium, half on the other. It's really weird. But
no, definitely.
We were on the sunny side, which there was no shade whatsoever. But we survived.
So what is the plan now for Matt Harrison and Paul Henihan? Is it leg it across Madrid to go to Vallecas or what?
Or just go for a fight?
No, we're going to go fight some more. Go fight some more crime.
Just some more beer, I think.
Yeah, more beer. We've had tapas. Food, probably a bit of food.
Sounds
they
like
play again, by the way. Like I'm just sort of looking around now. We're completely surrounded by Malaga fans. It's a hell of a effort again for like a bit of a dead rubber. It's all Malaga fans. There goes the 1998 European Cup trophy there. It's quite a cool stadium. The stadium surprised me actually.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't really have much else to say.
Well, on that note, we will bid you adieu. Matt Harrison, thank you so much for joining us live from Alfredo Di Stefano. Nearly.
Enjoy Madrid, guys. Paul, have a good night, mate.
Have a wonderful
go.
time. Luke, thank you very much for joining me as well. It's been a long season. We've had, a fair few live streams been chucked in it. It's been fun, hasn't it? The fact we've been able to do this has been quite incredible. So I thank you.
It really has been fantastic, mate. Like it's been a great new feature. We know in the numbers we've grown and grown week by week, and thank you to all the viewers for getting on it. The only thing I've got left to say is que sera, whatever will be, will be. We're
going to sell to be.
Que sera. Vamos Málaga.
Yes, and again, thank you for you guys in the comments for watching us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, whatever it might be. It is 10 times, 100 times better when you guys get involved. So thanks so much for all your comments and your feeds throughout the season. We'll be back to preview the game against Celta Fortuna at the weekend. We will look to bring that out next week. We'll be reviewing this game against Castilla earlier in the week as well, so keep your eyes out on the social medias for those. The Ultimate Kit is still open to vote for too, so get onto there and our social medias and vote for your favourite Malaga kit in the hopes that it gets through to the next round. And yeah, nothing else to plug today, so I'll say thank you everybody for watching at home. Adios. We've been Nick and Luke. As always, vamos Malaga. Hasta luego.